For our final lesson in financial literacy, this is paying for college. We're going to go to a website called collegecalc.org. And here on this website, we're going to find a lot of really good information on how much it's going to cost to go to college. Now, when you get here, what we want to do is we're just going to look for today's lesson at Texas. You can definitely explore this website and look at different colleges and different things that you want to do and get the information there. But we're just going to look today, for this purpose of this lesson, at Texas. All right, so now that we've clicked on Texas, then what we want to do is we want to look only at community colleges first, then we'll look at some different ones. So over here at Filter Texas Schools, let's change this to community colleges. And so that's going to look at after we graduate high school, going to a community college such as Alvin Community College or Houston Community College, Lone Star College, San Jacinto College, things like that. All right, so when I click here, if I scroll down, I can look at some different community colleges and how much the annual tuition is. So to go for 1 year, how much it's going to cost me to go to that college. Now, let's click on Alvin Community College. Let's look at that one since that's the one that's closest to us. Now here, there's going to be a lot of information. There's a lot to look at, a lot to go through, and I encourage that you do so. But for today's lesson, let's look at this option here. In district, meaning that we live in the area. Resident, total budget, this is living with parents. And so this would be what would apply to a lot of us. Now, if I'm living with my parents, my in-district tuition, I'm only going to have to pay $1,100 per year for tuition, $576 for additional fees, and then $1,795 for books and supplies. So we're looking at that as our cost for going to school at Alvin Community College, living with our parents. So that's going to be our best bet. Now, this is a 2-year college, so we're only going to be able to get an associate's degree. Sometimes at community colleges, they do have a few 4-year programs, but most of the time it's going to be for a 2-year or an associate's degree. Now, if we look up at the very top, the in-district resident total budget, this is living off campus, living on your own, not staying with parents. So you graduated high school, you get your first apartment, living on your own. It's estimated that it's going to cost you about $15,625 per year. That's going to be your tuition, your fees, then other off-campus budget. So it's going to be your food and things of that nature, how much it's going to just cost you to survive, car payments, things of that nature. That's just an estimate there. Off-campus housing, so you're looking at to pay for your apartment about that much per year. Just to kind of give us an idea of what this looks like and a baseline to compare it to other colleges. Now, another thing that we can look at if we scroll down to cost of degree. So this is an estimated 2-year cost. So this is at this amount. So we see here what it would cost us. That just takes that $15,000 and multiplies it by 2. But it says here potentially more accurate but less conservative estimate would be $7,316. And this would be with grants and scholarships. And so we'll talk about grants and scholarships in a little bit, but this is a more realistic amount that we would probably pay to get our 2-year degree. All right, let's go back and let's change our filter from community college. Now let's change it to a 4-year college. So now we change it to 4-year college. Let's look at 2 different ones. First, let's look at A&M. So if I scroll down to the bottom, and then I'm going to need to click on View All 92. And you can always look through this. I definitely recommend you spend some time looking at this to get some ideas. But we're just going to look at 2 here. So A&M, College Station. And it estimates that if I were to go to A&M right now, it's going to cost me about $29,000 a year, a little more than $29,000 a year. That's our tuition, our fees, room and board, on-campus, other budgets, books and supplies. And so that's what it's going to cost us. Now, if we were to live, notice that at community college, it gave us the option of living at home with the parents. Now it's saying that A&M, you're probably not living with your parents because you wouldn't be going to school in Wilder if your parents lived in College Station. But let's say you do have a relative that lives in College Station, or maybe your parents move there, so that way you can live at home while you go to A&M. So what you can do is you can just take off this room and board, take off this on-campus. So just deduct this, and if you deduct that, you'll get about $13,092 for your cost of attending A&M while living with a relative. And then if we scroll down, we can look at that similar thing that we saw before, where estimated costs are potentially more accurate. So with scholarships, with grants, we could potentially look at paying $11,550 per year instead of the $29,000 per year. So that's another possibility there. Let's also look at University of Houston. So that would give us an option for most of us to still live at home with our parents and go to school. So University of Houston. And so we see here $23,225 per year, but if we deduct the room and board and the on-campus other budget, then that's really only $10,213 per year to attend college at University of Houston. So ideally, if we go to school for our 2-year degree, our associate's degree at community college, and only pay just a couple of $1,000s, then we transfer. Once we have your associate's degree, you can just transfer to University of Houston or A&M or any other 4-year degree, go there for 2 more years in order to get your bachelor's degree. Then that's going to be the best way to go to save the most amount of money. So now I only have to pay the higher 4-year tuition amounts for just 2 years instead of all 4 years. But let's go down, let's look at this so we can get a better comparison, a more accurate comparison. And so with scholarships and grants, potentially we could get our degree for $11,609 per year. And so there we go. Last, I want to look at a private college, and specifically I want to look at Rice University. So let's scroll all the way back, filter, and let's look at private colleges. If I look at private colleges, going to all 70, scroll down to Rice University, and let's just see, out of curiosity, how this compares. So Rice University, for a Texas resident to attend Rice University for 1 year, you're looking at $65,150. That's $46,600 in tuition, $750 in other fees, and $1,200 for books and supplies. Then it's room and board if you're going to live there on campus, and other things for food and things of that nature that you'll also need to budget for. Or if you live at home, don't live on campus, you can deduct that, and you're still looking at $48,550 to attend Rice while still living at home. And that's only for 1 year. So if you go for 2 years there, and in addition to your 2 years in community college, that's still quite a bit. Or if you go all 4 years at Rice, that's quite a bit of money. So around $200,000 if you live at home, quite a bit more if you don't. But when we look here, it tells us that with scholarships and grants, you potentially could be looking at $19,675 per year. So that times 4, only $79,000 only, right? And of course, these are all dollar amounts for today, for current. By the time you get to college, the tuition goes up a little bit every year, usually about 5% per year. So it's actually going to cost quite a bit more by the time you get there, but we can look and see what that looks like. Now, another thing that's important that's on this website, that's on every one of these pages, if you scroll down, is a college savings calculator. Now we can try to figure out, well, let's say I want to save up $50,000. So I want $50,000. Right now I'm about to go into 6th grade, so I'm going to click 6th grade. And how much money do you already have saved for college? Well, my parents, they saved quite a bit of money for me already. They've saved $5,000 in a bank account for me. And so you can click here, click Calculate Savings Plan. If you want your full college to be paid off, now we said $50,000. Notice that it's estimating that in 2027, that's going to cost really $75,000, almost $76,000, because the cost of tuition raises every year. So in order to be able to pay for that college, we're going to need to set aside almost $1,900 per month to have our college paid off. Chances are we don't have $1,900 per month extra money just laying around to set aside for college. So we need to come up with other ways to pay for college. And so that's what the next part of our video is going to be about, is ways of paying for college.